All right, for more on the story, we're now joined by Ross Feingold. He is a political risk analyst, and he joins us now from Taipei. Ross, good to have you on the show. I want to begin by asking you what you think in terms of how this is. I mean, if it is signed, how it will affect regional security.
It's going to increase the concerns of the United States, Australia, New Zealand, to a lesser extent, Japan and Western countries about China's intentions in the region. But there's another side of this, which is the countries in the Pacific region, including Solomon Islands, are kind of taking the view that, well, we told you so. We for many years, we've expressed our concerns about your lack of interest or the lack or the level of development assistance and the way that it's provided. And we kind of have made our concerns known for many years. Australia and New Zealand have generally been in the region, but again, there's concerns by the countries that the level of assistance or the interest level has not been there. And frankly, the United States for many years has not been in the region, although the Trump administration did try to address that compared to its predecessors. And to some extent, the Biden administration has continued that, including announcing an embassy is planned for the Solomon Islands. It's not a surprise, and people who watch the region had warned about this possibility for many years.
Okay, you talked about Chinese intentions. I mean, the leaked documents don't specifically mention it, but do you think it's safe to assume that this would inevitably lead to sort of a major Chinese military buildup or military base on these islands?
Well, that part is unknown, but at a minimum, it would probably lead to a significant increase in cooperation. And that kind of cooperation would include probably things like rotation of either police, which they've already begun to implement, especially after the riots, or rotations of troops or Navy port calls, things of that nature. Some of this will be linked to civil infrastructure projects as well, but ultimately the companies that do those kinds of works in the Solomon Islands will be state-owned Chinese companies as well. And yeah, certainly, as you said, the possibility is there for a permanent presence sometime in the future. But rather than look at the future and say, will there be a permanent presence in the future, we could probably be assured again that there will be a very significant increase in the presence in the near to medium term.
Why do you think the Western countries in the region are caught off guard? I mean, if you can call it that.
It's a great question, and in recent hours and days, Australia government ministers have been at pains to say, no, we weren't caught off guard. We knew about this. But there's a number of reasons, depending on where your starting point is. Some of these countries are a great distance, whether it's from the United States, Australia, or New Zealand. Frankly, it's not an attractive posting for a lot of people who are in the foreign service of these countries as well. And for the corporate world, which is sometimes the driver of why governments will be there, there hasn't been much investment opportunity in these islands either. So when the corporates are not going there, then the governments are not following along to support the corporates. So there's a variety of factors. That's not really an excuse, though, because again, the location and other factors, it was inevitable that China would be making a move at some point to increase its presence in this region.
Okay. Ross Feingold, always a pleasure having you on the NewsHour. Do appreciate the analysis. Thank you very much.
Thank you.